Finland is known for having the best educational system on the planet. We have a program called Finest Future, in which we help young people, actually now in more than 20 countries. We help them come to Finland for high school and university. And after you learn the language, you get tuition free. Finland also has been ranked the happiest nation on the planet, not once or twice, but 7 years in a row. So it's not like a coincidence or anything. Slush, it's the biggest and best startup event on the planet, and it's run by young people. I mean, Slush, we actually started because we had a big problem many years ago. 2007, I gave a talk to 600 students at Aalto University, so some of our brightest minds, and I talked about entrepreneurship, startups, all of that. And then I asked the students how many want to start their company. Only 3 raised their hand. My best advice always is to just go out there and do it. You will learn and of course make a lot of mistakes, but that's how you learn. Angry Birds and the company behind Rovio got started out of game-making competition that I organized all the way back in 2003. It was all about creating the best possible mobile multiplayer game. It took 6 years and 51 games, 50-second game Angry Birds, and of course that became, the fastest growing consumer brand ever. The rest is kind of like history, if you will, so it became a pretty big thing. But it's always inspiring to remember that it started as a student project.
Hello everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Latin Point of View podcast. Today we are very excited to announce that we have a conversation with one of the biggest figures in the gaming industry here in Finland, Peter Vesterbacka. Say hello to our Latin community.
Hello. Yeah.
How are you, Peter?
Hey, I'm good, and it's great to be here, and fantastic to see so many people here at the festival. So yeah.
You have this impossible is nothing, this speech that you just said. It's like very inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, talked a lot about the foundation of like pretty much everything, education. Mm-hmm. So Finland is known for having the best educational system on the planet, and of course what we're working on now in many different projects is to share some of that excellence with everybody. And that's also very much the Finnish approach to education, that we provide fantastic education for all, not just a few. And I think that's something that's very important. And then sharing some examples of what we're actually doing here in Finland. And also I was super happy to see that we had many of our students. And when I say our students, so we have a program called Finest Future, in which we help young people, actually now in more than 20 countries. We help them come to Finland for high school and university. And the way it works is that we teach you the language, Finnish or Swedish. And after you learn the language, you get tuition free high school, tuition free university. And then we throw in happy life in Finland as a bonus. So it's not too bad.
That's what we're talking about with the other guest that we had, Anna. She's been a student here. She's from Vietnam.
Yep.
And she just told me that she feels so happy about it, that the free and the top of the educations in the world, Finland has been recognized because of that.
Yeah, but I think that, the quality of the education, but I think that the fact that Finland also has been ranked the happiest nation on the planet, not once or twice, but 7 years in a row. So it's not like a coincidence or anything. But I think that that's what we hear from all of our students when we ask them what they think about school and like their new life in Finland. They will all tell you that they are very, very happy. And the reason for that is actually that we don't discriminate against anybody based on age or gender or race or anything like that. So the students really appreciate that they are at the same level as the teachers and that they have the freedom to do things. And I was actually in Chengzhou in China in the summer with Queenie. So she's second year high school students in a place called Keuru here in Finland. Mm-hmm. And we were then talking to 400 parents, and Queenie said that she is super, super happy. I mean, she's from Chengzhou originally, so she was kind of like back home. She was sharing with the parents that she is super happy because in Finland, nobody will tell her not to dye her hair blue or whatever color that she likes. She can wear any kind of clothes that she likes, and nobody will tell her kind of like not to do that. And that's, part of freedom. And you have the freedom to be yourself. And I think that is what really makes people happy, that there's no kind of like pressure or people telling you how you should dress or what color of hair you should have or anything like that. And I think that is really good, and it also helps us, all the people here in Finland, to understand that, okay, not every country has the same, because I mean people here in Finland are always surprised when they read that, oh, Finland, happiest nation on the planet, that there must be some mistake. But basically it just means that we are happier than some other places, and I think that it's always good to be reminded of the fact that not everywhere is the same, and we got a few things right here.
That's true, and I feel it. I only have 3 years here, and this podcast is about just that, like trying to integrate our Latin community, which is growing year by year.
Yes.
And also now in the second season of the podcast, the internationals, I mean like all over the world.
Yep.
So it's great, and I hear you there in the main stage when you said that you're betting everything in the future, which is the young people.
Yes.
And I love that. I get that mark in my head, that statement, because I think it's true. It's the best that we can do.
Yes, and I always say that here in Finland we believe that young people are people too, and then many people, in many other countries, and especially older people, will say, yeah, we think the same. But then when I talk to the young people in that particular country, then they totally get what I'm meaning, because in many places, if you're a young person, you can't really do things because you should be older and you should have more experience and whatnot. But here in Finland, we have trusted young people to do things like, Slush that we just had. It's the biggest and best startup event on the planet, and it's run by young people. So we have a lot of examples of trusting young people and then young people delivering amazing results. And I think it's also about learning by doing. So we need to let the young people do things, because otherwise they will never learn. So young people are the future.
Are the future. That's exactly was the thing that I heard, and I think it's amazing. And okay, this Slash, it was the week of Slash last week. It was amazing because it's a huge event here in Finland and the world. Yep. And many startups and investors and many big brands are around. And how that everything started and how you come up with this?
Yeah, Slush, we actually started because we had a big problem, many years ago, 2007, I gave a talk to 600 students at Aalto University, so some of our brightest minds, and I talked about entrepreneurship, startups, all of that, a little bit my own entrepreneurial journey, starting, from the original tech startup that Bill and Dave started in their garage, so Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard. And they also, they started Silicon Valley, so, fantastic entrepreneurs. But I was talking about that, and then I asked the students in the audience how many want to start their company or, join a startup once they graduate or even before. And in 2007, of 600 students, only 3 raised their hand. So, meaning that they wanted to go and work for Nokia, Kone, Wärtsilä, one of the big corporations, or even the government. And obviously, everybody has the freedom to do so. But if everybody just wants to join the big guys, maintain the status quo, we're not going to have any progress, any innovation. So we had to do something about that. And then together with a few friends, we started Slush in 2008. With the intent to change the mindset here of the whole nation, the whole region. And now Slush has become the biggest and best startup event this week. Actually, we attracted 4 trillion in venture capital, so it has become the biggest gathering of venture capital any given time anywhere on the planet. And the whole event with 15,000 attendants from 160 countries is run by 1,600 volunteers from 60 countries. So basically we put young people in charge, and they delivered the biggest and best startup event on the planet. And most importantly, 5 years after starting Slush, I went back to Aalto. Same talk, same question, how many of you want to start a company? And more than half the hands went up. And now if I go to any of our 35 university campuses or any of our high schools here in Finland, I ask the same question, more than half the hands will go up. So we have seen a massive transformation. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing because every year is growing this entrepreneurial work, and everybody trying to go there because it's the future, I think.
Yes, absolutely, and it's great to see that many of the founders are now from outside Finland, and many of them have come here for education. And I always use the story of Sakari and Milan. They came to Sallan Lukio, so the fantastic high school in Salla, in the middle of nowhere, northeastern Finland. And they did high school in Finnish language. And then they went to Aalto University, graduated, and now they have a startup called Mimikit. So it's a dance teacher, AI-powered dance teacher in your mobile phone. And they hired now people from France, from Poland, from Lithuania. And, the only Finnish people in the company are Sakari and Milan, and Sakari and Milan are actually not originally Finnish. So this is what we expect to see now with our Finest Future program. Anna, that you had on the podcast, great example of that. You come here for high school, university, and then you stay, for the happy life and to start your company. So we expect to see many more examples like Sakari and Milan. So I think that is the future, and that's also why the company that is attracting the students here, it's called Finest Future, obviously. So that's what we want to offer young people everywhere, their finest future here in Finland.
What do you think about the internationals moving in here in Finland and get there or working in this big industry and company and leading this technology?
Yeah, I mean, when I was working at Rovio and Angry Birds, we had 47 different nationalities at the company. Now it's more than 50, and I think that this is very much the case in the games industry. It's very global, very international. The startup community here in Finland, very international. Tens of different nationalities in like any given startup. So it's already happening. It's already been the case for many years, and we have a lot of jobs in the startup community, and I expect to see thousands of new jobs created every year by the local startups, and first thousands, then tens of thousands. So we expect very big growth going forward in the startup ecosystem here in Finland. So always say that we've achieved a good start, but we are only getting started. We expect to see a lot more going forward.
That's amazing. That's amazing because I have been the chance since I started this project, and I've been talking with a lot of internationals, and they are talking the story, how they came here, why they came here, what they are doing here right now, if they are studying and working on or starting this entrepreneurial world. So it has been rough time for everybody because migrate is hard in a way. That's the point. Yeah. Have you been living abroad, Finland?
Yeah, I have. Not for like longest, probably like a year, so not like for very long periods. But I mean, I'm familiar with that, and of course, I have many people who have moved here from other places. Also, like outside of Finland, people who have moved there from outside. So. Again, I think that the best thing that you can do then, or one of the best things is becoming an entrepreneur and then starting your own thing. So I think that that is something that we see a lot. But then also, of course, the immigrant entrepreneurs tend to hire other immigrants, so it also helps address those challenges. So I think it's a very good thing for society, and I hope that we will. And I not only hope, I know that we will see a lot more of that going forward. So again, also on that side, it's a good start, but there's going to be a lot more going forward.
That's the thing. That's why we're doing this and trying to move forward and do it. Do something that it has value for everyone. That's what I expect about this project. And talking about that and go backwards in the past. How is the experience creating and co-founding the Rovio and created this game that it was viral all over the world, which is Angry Birds? Who didn't play Angry Birds? Come on, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, Angry Birds and the company behind Rovio got started out of a game-making competition that I organized all the way back in 2003. Then Niklas, Kim and Jarno, 3 students from Aalto University, took part in this competition, won this competition. So it was all about creating the best possible mobile multiplayer game, because our friends at Nokia, they were still making phones and they had come out with the first smartphones. And then they came to me after winning the competition and asked me, like, okay, Peter, we are students here, what should we do? And then I told them that, hey, you should do what you love to do, making games. So they started a company, Rovio, to make games, and then it took 6 years and 51 games, 52nd game Angry Birds, and of course that became, the fastest growing consumer brand ever. And
So it wasn't at the first try.
No,
it was many.
It's the 52nd, so it wasn't the first or second or even third. So it took 6 years and 51 games. So not an overnight success story, but I think this is also an example of learning by doing. So you always learn to make better games.
Improving all the time.
Improving all the time and learning by doing. So that's kind of like what happened. And the rest is kind of like history, if you will. So it became a pretty big thing. But it's always inspiring to remember that it started as a student project and then became pretty big.
How you will say to students or maybe people who are doubting to start their own business, what you will advise to them?
Yeah, I think that my best advice always is to just go out there and do it. So I think that again, also there you will learn and you will, of course, make a lot of mistakes, but that's how you learn. And then it's a little bit, starting your company, it's a little bit like how we all have learned how to walk. So you try to get up, you fall, you try to get up, you fall, and then, eventually you will figure it out. And that's very much the story of Rovio, and that's very much the story of starting any business, that it's not that you just like decide one day to stand up and walk, but it takes a bit of trial and error. And I think this is true for most things in life, that you just need to, get up and try, and sometimes you fall.
Not get disappointed, because many people just get disappointed in a way and never finish anything because they just stopped, just suddenly stop doing it.
True. So you basically, I think it's important to keep at it, keep trying, and eventually you will be successful.
Yeah, that's the truth, and I hope you get that. Write it down, because it's a good statement. Thank you, really. Thank you for being here. I'm happy to have you in my podcast, and of course, we have a lot to learn, and we are in that path. And I hope we are helping the community through this through these stories, which is it's great to hear all the time. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. It was great to be here.
Yeah.
See you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.